What's up, upstanders? Dr. O here, and I gotta really explain my frustration with Marvel and what they're doing with the movies Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. The fact of the matter is, the reason I won't be seeing these movies in theaters is because even though, look, Fantastic Four movies have always been trash. They've just all of them, always. And I even refuse to admit that Chris Evans played the Human Torch. Like I can't accept it. Whatever. Even the cartoons are just terrible. Like they've been a franchise that has been doomed to fail, and I feel like that's absolutely going to happen with this movie. With the Thunderbolts, though, those are characters I've really liked in the movies throughout the years. Big fan of Sebastian Stan and Winter Soldier, of course, Florence Pugh. Like those are people, and some of the guys I don't really know, but it's just like when I'm looking at these movies and looking at these commercials, I'm like, yo, where are the black people? Like, well, coming off of the incredible success of Sinners, I know movies get filmed at different times, and like coming off of Captain America: Brave New World. Now, look, if you listen to me and my brother Simba talk about that, there was a lot of issues that we had with how they did Anthony Mackie's character. Even though we ride, of course, in Anthony Mackie all day, but there were certain things that they did to kind of not really humanize him. That was very problematic. Not give him a love interest, not mention any racial dialogues, and this has to do a lot with Bob Iger coming in, at Disney and doing what they're doing, and why that's problematic. But in this moment that we're living in this society, when I look at the Fantastic Forecast, I see no black people, right? Until they add, I see Sarah Niles at the bottom. When you go to IMDb, when you go at the bottom, you see Sarah Niles as a cast member, but it doesn't even say who she's playing. So is she gonna be like just somebody's secretary randomly in like a scene or two, and then like over the last few days or week ago, they put out Sarah Niles playing somebody named Lynne. Okay, like that's it. That's all we're getting there. She's playing somebody named Lynne. What's that about? Are there any black males in that movie? Because I don't see anybody in the cast who represents being a black male. I don't see it. And then when I go and look at the cast of Thunderbolts, I've been looking at the cast and I haven't seen any black people until I look up today before I do this segment, and I see that the great actor Wendell Pierce is playing somebody named Congressman Gary. But again, I wonder about the role that is going to have, because even though haven't seen every trailer, I haven't seen him in any of the commercials. So, and I don't see any black women in the cast from what I'm looking at IMDb. So is this the role that we're going now, Hollywood? Especially coming off of the success of what we've seen with Sinners, especially coming off of the success of what we've seen with Captain America. Y'all basically going to be joining the Trump anti-DEI initiatives by not bringing us faces. And I understand that people are still mad that the person playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic is Latino, and folks are mad at that. So it's like, yo, this is, and to me, look, there's Hispanic white. So to me, I'm looking at all of these guys as white as well. This is really problematic. Coming off of the high that I felt seeing Sinners, which I'm about to see again, and seeing what Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler did with that. When I was able to ask Omar Miller, who's in the movie, play the bodyguard at the club, about the success of the movie, he said one of the things that he loves about it is that it's not black trauma porn, because that stuff always sells. But when you look at some of the movies that have really been super box office hits for black people, people should have gotten the lesson. Black Panther, which made over $1 billion and was the highest grossing movie that year, and not just for a black director, but just of any movie. And look what that did. Look what Sinners is doing right now. Like there is a market for that. Look at the sister, play Sister Anne, Wumi, who was a plus size woman, and they actually made her sexual, which doesn't happen for black women who are larger in these movies, like hey Sonic, right? Like this should be a moment now where these movie theaters in Hollywood and the like are really assessing what they're doing and what they're putting out. Because look, I've been Marvel fan, all my life, and I only needed like one or two characters of substance in these movies to go see them. I knew I wasn't going to see Fantastic Four, but now I have more reason not to. Thunderbolts look like it could be a cool movie. Yeah, I don't, but this is what they're choosing to do. These studios are choosing to do this. They're choosing to go with Trump's DEI initiatives, anti-DEI initiatives, and they're choosing to rule us out. They're choosing to exclude us. I haven't done a deep dive in the cast to know if there anybody who represents the Asian community or represents the indigenous community, and for Thunderbolts. Like I haven't looked a deep dive as it relates to representation from the Latino community. I know when I go and look at these spaces, I look for us first. I look for Black people first, and then I move out to other groups. And from a distance, this representation looks very poor. And Marvel has done a better job than in having characters that represent things, different backgrounds, Luke Cage and all of that. But even when I'm watching Daredevil, one of my favorite shows, one brother who is in the cast. I believe he's half black, half white. He's like Trinidadian. Yeah, I'm escaping his name. I mean, legendary actor. I mean, come on. I apologize for that. I'm just getting in my flow and I don't want to pull it up. But I don't know if he goes by black in the show because there's nothing that talks to him about being a black person. He could be possibly Latino and so on and so forth. So there's no like somebody who's like a strong black male presence in Daredevil. They got the sister in there who runs the law firm and Matt. That's good. Like that, those are good things. And it shouldn't be that hard to make these movies look more like America. And people can talk about playing race card and all the other type of stuff. Forget the race card. I'm talking about the deck. And I'm tired of these movie theaters putting out these movies just thinking that we're just gonna go see it, we're just gonna go support it, like we just are down and just gonna ride with anything. We're not doing that anymore. Many of us haven't been doing it for a very long time, and I feel like more people are gonna stop doing it if they were, because we want to see ourselves on the screen. We want to see ourselves in great representations and dynamic representations. Shout out to Ryan Coogler once again, but I'm not going to be giving dollars toward Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I have concerns about the direction that these movies are going, particularly during the Trump era Part 2. And this is just not something I'm going to give my dollars to. What do you think? Are you going to see them? Share your thoughts. Am I overdoing it on the diversity thing? Am I overdoing it on groups disappearing and not being seen? Like, where's the Luke Cage? Is that coming back to Disney? Like, I just want to see us, and I want to see everybody but better represented. But I'm starting with people who look like me, and they're absent. And I got other alternatives right now to spend my money on, which is why I'm about to go see Sinners again. Holla back. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.